Good morning, students. Today we will learn how to draw the structure of an eyeball. So let us just start with it. As you all know that eyeball is made up of three concentric layers. So let us just draw the three layers of the eyeball. This is the outermost layer of the eyeball, which is called the sclera. Sclera or sclerotic layer. So the outermost layer of the eyeball is the sclera or sclerotic layer. Sclera, in the front region, it is little bulged out. So this bulged out region of the sclera is called the cornea. So let us just label them side by side. So this is cornea, and let us just label this one also. This is sclera. Sclera is the outermost layer of the eyeball, sclera or sclerotic layer. Okay, now let us start with the second layer. This is the second layer of the eyeball, that is the choroid layer. This is choroid layer, which is the second layer of the eyeball. It is inner to the sclera, and this choroid layer is present inside the sclera. So this is choroid. Choroid in the front is little expanded to form the ciliary body. In the front region, choroid layer is expanded to form the ciliary body. So this is your ciliary body. Ciliary body, or we can call it as ciliary muscles. Ciliary body further is attached to suspensory ligaments. These are thread-like structures, suspensory ligaments. Suspensory ligaments, their function is to hold the lens. So suspensory ligaments, here we have is the eye lens. Suspensory ligaments are holding the eye lens. So we can label them. So this is our suspensory ligaments. Function of suspensory ligaments is to hold the eye lens. Function of ciliary body are basically the muscles. So these muscles contract and relax, and hence they change the shape of the eye lens. We have to keep changing the shape of the eye lens to see the nearby and far off things with equal clarity. So this is your eye lens. So let us just label this also. Here we have is the eye lens. Okay, now further, this choroid layer, it is again coming in front of the eye lens and is covering part of the eye lens. From both sides it is coming in front and it is covering a part of the eye lens, leaving a very small opening in the center. So this part of the choroid layer again, this part of the choroid layer which is covering the eye lens, part of the eye lens, this is called the iris. So this is your iris. Iris is the part of the choroid which is covering the eye lens, leaving a small opening in the center. This opening is called the pupil. Pupil is right in the center of the iris. This is a hole or the opening through which the light can enter into the eye. So now children, you can see there is cornea. Cornea is basically the sclera, the sclerotic layer in the front, which is transparent, which has turned transparent so that the light can enter into the eye. So this is transparent cornea, which is part of the sclera. Then we have is this pupil, the hole through which the light can enter, and then the light passes through the lens and it enters into the eye, right? Okay. Further, the outermost layer, the sclera, it is further being protected by, the eye is also having a protective covering which is covering the front region of the eye, and this protective covering is the conjunctiva, which we have not drawn as yet. So this is your conjunctiva. Conjunctiva is the protective covering of the eye which is covering the front region of the eye, front part of the eyeball, and this is your conjunctiva. So let us just label it. Right? Conjunctiva is in continuation with your eyelids, upper and the lower eyelid. Right? It is covering the front part of the eye, but it is also in continuation with the eyelids. So this is your conjunctiva. Okay. Now let us start with the third layer of the eye, that is the retina. So retina is the innermost layer of the eye which is present below the choroid layer, inside the choroid layer. It is the innermost layer of the eye, right? So this is your retina. Retina is the layer of the eye on which the image is formed. Retina is having the sensory cells. So this, let us just label this one, the innermost layer. This is the retina. Retina is the layer which is containing the sensory cells for sight. That is, the cone and the rod cells are present in the retina. So image is formed on the retina, right? Now children, at the back of the eye, here somewhere, at the back of the eye, almost at the center on the horizontal axis of the eyeball, this point, this is called the yellow spot. Yellow spot, what is yellow spot? Yellow spot is the region of best vision. It is the area of best and brightest vision. You know, I'll again tell you the location. Yellow spot lies at the back of the eye, almost at the center on the horizontal axis of the eyeball, right? And yellow spot is the region of best vision. Now lateral to the yellow spot here, lateral to the yellow spot on the nasal side, we have this is blind spot. Blind spot. Blind spot is the region of area of no vision. No image is formed on the blind spot. And the reason being that all the sensory cells from all of the eyeball, that is the cells, cone and the rod cells which are present on the retina, these cells leave the eyeball through this blind spot. They leave the eyeball through this blind spot and later they form the, what we call it as optic nerve. So this is your optic nerve. We can label it as optic nerve. Optic nerve is the nerve. Optic nerve is the nerve which goes to the brain. It takes the signals from the eye and it goes to the brain. So this blind spot is the area from where all the sensory cells of the eye, they leave the eyeball and they form the optic nerve which further goes to the brain. Now further children, you can see this eye lens. Eye lens is dividing the eyeball into two regions. The front region, this part, between the cornea and the eye lens, this region is called the aqueous chamber. And between the eye lens and behind the eye lens, you can say behind the eye lens, this whole part of the eye is called the vitreous chamber. So let us just label them also. So this is your vitreous chamber. Vitreous chamber is the bigger chamber, bigger area of the eyeball, and it is filled with a fluid called vitreous humor, right? And in front of the eye, that is between the cornea and the eye lens, this part of the eye is filled with a fluid called aqueous humor, and this area is called the aqueous chamber. So let us just label it. So this is all about the structure of eyeball. Children, you have to practice the diagram of eyeball and also learn the functions of each of these parts of the eyeball. That is all, children. Thank you.